Haha! I just finished a couple errands and now I'm here. So, hot mess of a hair. Check. Check. Oh my god. Possible food and teeth from snacking while doing errands. Also, probably check. That's not the point though. I woke up today feeling good. Not like overwhelmingly good, but not neutral and not bad. It's a I don't know how to describe the feeling. Oh. I just had the realization that feeling was probably peace. Wow. Oh, I did not expect to have some realization like that right now. But the more I think about it, yeah, because the feeling was familiar. I felt this before. And it was peace. Like, wow. Wow. Like, the feeling was a cool house. Like, it's early morning, maybe like 8, 9 a.m. That's the feeling, right? And you're sitting in your room and it's not too cluttered, it's clean. And you're laying with like fresh linens, not heavy, not like big, thick comforters. Everything's like lightweight. Even your comforter, it keeps you warm, but it's light. I see hues of blues, different shades, but mainly not dark. They're like the shades of a blue sky when it's not totally clear, but when it has those big fluffy clouds. There's a cool breeze coming through, but the sun is shining. The windows are open and you have your curtains. These are sheer curtains, so like not necessarily the curtains that block out sun. They're just the ones that kind of like look pretty, and when the sun shines through it, it could possibly make these like little shimmers. Yeah, like these sheer white. And the whole room just feels light and airy and clean and crisp and comfortable, but not in like a homemade soup on a rainy day kind of comfort. A comfort of like relief, like you just got over something really huge and you made it, and it's just like whew, and you're just sitting there and like it's, yeah, that's what I see and feel. When I think about that feeling when I woke up, it's the smell of like fresh flowers, like a freshly gifted bouquet or a freshly picked bouquet. It's the feeling of a clean house. You know, the kitchen is clean, there's no dishes, you're well fed, you're satisfied but not overstuffed. Like that feeling, the feeling of balance. Oh my gosh. I've also been watching Legend of Korra again. I didn't mean to. Like, my sister was just like, hey, can you, like, you want to watch? She was like, you want to watch the pro bending matches? You know, like when she first joins the Fire Ferrets, and then, like, we just ended up watching. We're almost on season 2. I'm not mad. I watched, well, actually my whole family and I watched Legend of Korra together when it first aired, so we were watching it weekly together as it was a live ongoing series, which is super cool. So it's been a while, because that happened like what, when I was in high high school or something. So it's been a while since I watched it. There's a lot of things that I forgot. A lot of antagonists that I forgot. I remember the main stuff though, for the most part. The world seems like it's in total chaos, but I feel internally that pieces are just falling where they need to be, and it's kind of hard to explain. And I know in yesterday's little video I was gonna say that, like, to recap on what I'm thankful for and stuff, and I can touch on that a little bit, but I also, it's coming up, so the deadline to submit a video for the whole Life Goes On prompt thing for the BTS MV is coming up, and I have an idea, but I don't know how to portray it through a TikTok. So I really do want to sit down and brainstorm that. Because even if my video doesn't get selected to be used in the MV, it's still gonna be a super cool thing to like create. The whole concept for me that I was thinking about portraying of my interpretation of Life Goes On is that as you grow, you outgrow. You're bound to outgrow things. Just like when you grow, you outgrow clothes. You can outgrow so many different things. You can outgrow a style. You can outgrow an environment, outgrow relationships. There's just, there's so many things. But I want to like portray it as some, like, I want simplicity with on the outside, but complexity on the inside for this film, and it's literally 40 seconds, and it's gonna be shot horizontal, like not. Oh my gosh, I did this, but I said horizontally. It's gonna be shot in like portrait style, so yeah. We'll see. Because it can be symbolic to myself, which I have an idea. Oh, I don't know if I'm ready. But that's the whole symbolism, right? As life goes on. I was thinking about using all my past journals and destroying them to kind of represent that life goes on, that I was able to use the journal as a tool and a coping mechanism in general to filter all these things out. But these are journals from years ago, and I've been holding on to them for so long because I love looking back at them, and that's totally cool. Like, I don't get lost in them 99% of the time. I just look back to really appreciate the journey and to remind myself how far I've came, how far I've come. I'm bad at English. Anyway. There's many different things. I have a flower outside that has wilted. It's still beautiful, but it's wilted. And pretty soon, even though it's beautiful, I need to toss it out. There's a lot that I can put into these 40 seconds, but I'm not sure what I want to do. I'm gonna brainstorm it. Think about it. But I guess to go back onto what I'm thankful for, I don't know. I feel like oh yeah, my phone just notified me that I have 5% left, which I totally forgot about. I knew about it when coming in to film this, but then I forgot about it as soon as I started talking. The biggest thing that I am thankful for is self-awareness and the humbling experience of self-awareness. And I still struggle a lot with accepting things. It's not an easy thing to accept truth. You know, it's one thing to acknowledge it, but to accept it, or vice versa, accept it but not acknowledge it. Because then if you're not acknowledging it, I don't think you're really accepting it. I wouldn't have it any other way though. I wouldn't want pain is hard, but like without pain, like I wouldn't really know the feeling of peace and like triumph and love and all that good stuff. Same with, you know, the opposite. You wouldn't really know the value of those things and the magnitude of those experiences. One thing, a video I came across, which is completely true, and I always thought I was crazy for it, but sometimes something that impacts you and is like, not detrimental, but yes, but that's not the word I'm looking for. But it was so huge to you, but only you. Like that experience that you experienced was only huge to you, so everyone else present at that moment doesn't remember. And it's not that you're crazy, it's just that it didn't affect them the way that it affected you. And sadly, that happens with a lot of trauma. I know for sure that I have memories that no one else remembers. And for the longest time, I was like, okay, maybe I'm just making things up. Like maybe I'm crazy and I'm just remembering wrong because I was a kid. But no, because when it scars you or when it highly impacts you in general, it will get seared. And so it leaves a mark and it won't go away. Versus the others, it's like another day come and gone. Like maybe they'll think about it a little bit, but sooner or later their brain's like, oh, this is useless information, we don't need it right now. You can forget about that and like retain these things instead. Especially if it has to do with someone's toxic traits or not so good characteristics. They're not one, especially if they don't feel like they remember it, they're not going to accept it usually. They're not going to believe it. They're going to be in denial, which I've also experienced before, both ways. And it's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna end it on this note because also my phone is dying, but I'm gonna end it on this, is that it's am I gonna cry? No. It's a beautiful thing that I've been experiencing, is that I'm experiencing a cycle. Like I made my round, like I came all the way back around, and this is similar things. It's, oh my gosh. I am experiencing very, very, very similar events that I have experienced like 4 or 5 years ago when I was at the start of hitting like my lowest season. And the difference in my responses, in general, my being, my like healthiness, my everything is so different, but in such a good way. And it's so beautiful to see the juxtaposition. Like if this was like a side by side, if I could play my experiences side by side, oh my gosh. It's beautiful because it's beautiful because ever since I consciously knew, actually for as long as I can remember, but I didn't always have the strength to, it was always in here and here, that I wanted to change, that I wanted to make a change, that I was tired of being in this constant cycle of not being able to do anything, not being able to get healthy, because I let my environment and everything else consume me and influence me and keep me shackled. And it just feels so freeing. And I am so proud that I'm in a place where probably the me 4 or 5 years ago won't even recognize who I am. Of course we look similar because we're the same person, but like everything about me has grown so much that I am so happy with where I am. And it's such a beautiful thing to know that I stopped at least part of a toxic cycle, part of an unhealthy chain, and it's only the beginning. And it's so cool to see that I didn't realize how similar everything is that I'm experiencing, and the difference in everything, in a good way. It's peace, and it's so sad, but also so beautiful. That at first I didn't know what I was experiencing until I really thought about it, and it was peace. And it was just in general healthy. Like, that's sad in a sense, yes, but like, oh, so beautiful. And I can't stop saying that, but it is. It's a feeling that I can't explain in words, and that's why I think the only thing coming out is beautiful and tears, because I don't care what it looks like to anyone else, but I'm doing it. That's all I can say is I'm so happy. Of my younger self. Yeah, have you seen that like TikTok where it's like, it's music playing, it's like, wow. And it's the younger self looking at the older self doing something that younger self did not have the strength or courage to do at that time. And they're looking at their older selves doing it, and they're just in awe. It's so cool. It's so beautiful. It's freeing, it's real freeing. I never wanted it to be. It literally feels like you know, before I used to have visitation rights, you know, with my younger self, where I would have to look at them through bars or a plexiglass window and talk to them through a phone because they're imprisoned, right? And I was too scared to talk to them outside of that, because also I was afraid that I was gonna mess them up even more. But now we're going on picnics and we're hanging out together and we're eating food and we're crying together, we're laughing together, and it's so cool. It's so cool. And I love her so much. This is 20 minutes, but I did not expect it to come to this, like, this turn. Especially now when my phone was dying. Now it's at 2%, and I really don't want to lose this recording because this is so cool. I keep saying that, but I'm not gonna apologize for it. Have an amazing, beautiful, wonderful day, night, wherever you're at. I love you.